Hi everyone, it's Captain Magpie's YouTube channel. Welcome back to another video on my channel. In today's video, will be reviewing the round 13 of the AFL season. Now, if you are returning Captain Magpies, welcome, like, comment, share. If you're new to the channel, watch this for the first time, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Really appreciate if you can like the stream, guys, and also like the videos as well. It helps out with the channel, gets all the views up, and also it helps a lot more getting out there for everybody else that YouTube will recognize, as we are pretty much in a terrific spot. So in the last watch time, 84% of you guys, 84.6% of you guys have not subscribed. So if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, please hit the like button. Really do appreciate on that as well. Now, while we're at the AFL, now the way I do this for you guys new, I just go through the games, have a little chat about it, and yeah, we'll see how we go. Can the LA Crows respond after a disappointing performance against the Hawks, or can the Tigers get their second win of the season? Can the Bulldogs make it back-to-back games, or can Brisbane Lions shine at Marvel Stadium? Can the Hawks continue on their record at Tasmania, or can the Giants finally beat the Hawks in Tassie? Can the Eagles continue their form and win again at home, or can North Melbourne get the first win of the season? Can the Saints finally get a back-to-back wins, or can the Suns finally break their away hoodoo streak? Can the Swans continue on their winning streak and continue on winning at home, or can the Cats cause an upset? Can the Bombers win a King's Birthday Eve clash, or can the Blues finally make it back-to-back wins? And can the Magpies get their job done at home, or can the D's finally stand up after an 92-point loss? Now, purely based on Thursday night, what a game of football, 12-7-79 to 10-11-71. Now, when we look at it too, guys, it was such a great win for the Tigers. They dominated throughout the whole game as well. Now, we know that Adelaide had a lot more disposals, 384, but Richmond was so efficient when they, with their disposals. But here's the one thing that frustrates me the most. 52%, 24 shots from 46 inside 50s compared to 38%, 20 shots from 52 inside 50s. So they dominate inside 50s account a lot more, and they dominate the hitouts and also on the clearances. So that tells you a lot more about, Richmond able to dominate. They dropped Riley O'Brien. Don't know why you'll drop him. To be honest, he has to be in the team. But they were just disappointing at all. Now, we know that two were rushed for the Crows and one rush for the Tigers, but they missed 9 shots. The probably shots they probably could have kicked. So, in a way, like, Richmond dominating tackles, and they're absolutely dominating the 1%ers as well. They're a lot more desperate than what the Adelaide Crows were. But the Adelaide Crows, they've been an up and down team for some time now. I don't know why that is the case, but they're a team that should be making finals, and they just aren't good enough. Simple as that. Now, a few question marks on Matthew Nicks, whether or not it was the right move. Look, I get why, but probably put him under a lot more heat. But yeah, what a performance from the Tigers. And they're probably keep playing the way that they're playing. Like, they're going to be competitive in all their games. I didn't think they'll win at all. But yeah, definitely surprised me a little bit in the way that they played, and probably surprised me that they've won. But knowing the fact is that they would be competitive, but then Adelaide would run over the top of them as well. The Brisbane Lions won by 43 points against the Western Bulldogs. Now, 17-12, 114 to 10-11-71. Now, what a performance from the Brisbane Lions. They played really good football indeed. They led right from the start, and it was great to see, except for when the Bulldogs kicked the first goal, but it was great to see how Brisbane played. They dominated inside 50s, dominated disposals, and they dominated kicks as well. But one thing that probably worried me a lot more is the Western Bulldogs. Now, while both teams had 46% efficiency inside 50, but the Bulldogs had 21 shots from 45 inside 50s and 30 shots from 64 inside 50s as well. They got beaten in the hitouts, they got beaten in the clearances, which again, normally that's the Dogs' way of playing contested possessions as well, but they got absolutely dominated in the contested, even stoppage clearances as well, and even centre clearances. They just didn't look as great. Now, one thing that I will say is that they had 3 rush behinds, which I'm not excusing that, but they missed 8 shots. Some of these shots they probably could have kicked as well. Well, they kicked a lot more accurately as well. Now, I look at this Western Bulldogs team and I look at how can you allow them to get further in front like they did, but they just really performed really well, and I like that in the way that they played as well. I just want to give a shout out to Eric Hibwood. Look, I didn't think that he had this in him, to be honest. 13 marks, but 20 disposals, 6 goals too. He was good. Lachie Neale had 38, but who was tagging him? He kicked 2 goals. That was about it. Bontempelli kicked 3 goals, but that was junk time. Their second and third goal came in the third quarter and the last quarter specifically. And he wasn't anywhere near as impactful. Yes, he got tagged. Yes, he kicked his 3 goals, but it was junk time. It's, yes, he can move forward, but you gotta still be able to get involved. He was down on his input as well, but one thing that you can say is what a performance as well. Tim English, he's not a very good ruckman. Yes, he had 16 disposals, 22 hitouts, but one thing that you do know with the Brisbane Lions is that Oscar McInerney had 30 hitouts, 18 disposals as well, and he dominated in the way that he played as well. Harris Andrews, I thought, stood up, 15 disposals, 9 marks. But again, Zach Bailey kicking 2, great win. Question marks are on the Dogs. They're up and down team. I don't know what's wrong. Jamal Hooper-Hayden kicked 2 goals, 1, but yet he's not that consistent. In my opinion, Rory Lobb, 5 disposals. Yes, he was subbed off injured, but his attitude was shocking. Probably will play next week. And Keith was injured as well. So they've got a few players out as well. Again, you can't trust the Western Bulldogs enough. You thought maybe they'll win after a good win against, obviously, my boys when we had our injuries in our forward line, which unfortunately that's the way it was. We didn't have much of experienced players as what we had this week for sure, but it was a very disappointing performance from the Dogs, and I'm glad that that they got shown up. They're an inconsistent team. They're middle of the road team. They're nowhere near it. They're in no man's land, and until they sort out their shit, they aren't going to be a very good team. Yes, they've had injuries as well, but you got to be better than that. Credit to the Lions, they were superb as well. The Hawks won by a kick, unbelievable, 12-13-85, 12-7-79. Look, Ginnivan got a high tackle, which was good. One thing I will say, Mario Charles probably should have got that free kick. Clever play by Luke Bruce to kick the sealer then. But one thing I will say with the Hawks is that they're really, even though they had less probably disposals, they had more kicks and they had 52 inside 50s. But their efficiency was a lot better than the Giants. 53% from 28 shots from 52 inside 50s, compared to the Giants' 51%, 25 shots from 49 inside 50s as well. Now, while the Giants did dominate the hitouts and the clearances, but they won the stoppage clearances, the Hawks, and they're becoming a team where they can play really good footy as well. Apart from that, I'm really excited what I'm seeing. Yes, 2 were rushed and 2 were touched, but 1 was rushed for the Giants. But in a way, I thought that was a really good performance from the Hawks. I thought they played really good football, and I'm just liking the way that they are playing at the moment. In particular, now we know Dylan Moore had 19 disposals, but he's going to be a star. He absolutely is. I thought Will Day had a great game, 26 disposals as well. But that's the difference is Jake Gunston kicking 3 goals straight, Mario Charo kicking 2 goals, 1 as well. Cam McKenzie had 14 disposals. Really great to see what Hawthorn were able to do as well. And CJ, he looked good, 10 disposals as well. Probably didn't have a great game, but it doesn't really matter. Ginnivan had 16 disposals as well, but you gotta like the way how the Hawks are playing down in Tasmania. It's becoming a fortress here. They won't be able to play there as much when Tasmania get into this team as well, but realistically a great win for the Hawks as well. Now North Melbourne finally won their first game by 9 points, 11-8-74 to 8-17-65. Now West Coast were poor, 2 goals 15 in the end, but they end up kicking 6 goals 2 in the last quarter. That's not good enough. It's really not. They dominated a lot, North Melbourne in particular. They dominated all aspects of the game. West Coast had 58 inside 50s, but they were poor as well. But the efficiency is there. 43% from 25 shots and 58 inside 50s. That's the difference. 51% from 22 shots from 43 inside 50s as well. They dominated the hit-outs, but they lost the clearances. And that's how poor they were. So, unfortunately, that's the way it is at times. The biggest lead was 33 points, and you probably thought North Melbourne were going to win. But West Coast did come back, but unfortunately, it's too little too late. It's not good enough. In the end, I thought North Melbourne dominated for a majority of the game, and probably deserved that win, to be fair. So I thought that was a great win. Apart from that, you know exactly what you're going to get as well. Now, the Saints won by 3 points. It was probably a low-scoring game. Probably it's a very defensive game, mind you. 7-9, 51, 76, 48. Now, one thing I will say, Ross Lyon is such a boring coach when it comes to these tactics and game plan. It's always defensive. But one thing Damien Hardwick needs to do is make it a bit more attacking. Get it in there quick and you know exactly what you can do. So again, like Flanders and Sexton, they were dominating the disposals as well. But Flanders had 42 disposals, but he took 30 marks. Sexton had 29 and 16 marks. And Jeffrey had 12 marks from his 29 disposals. So in the end, you can get all these disposals as much as you want, but you can't just keep kicking backwards. Borrow had 10 marks from his 23 disposals as well. Moyle, I thought he competed really well, 32 hit-outs and 9 disposals as well. But yeah, that's the issue. You really got to see something. Ben King kicking 2 goals as well. That's for the Suns. He's great. Max King kicked 2 goals, 1. There's a controversial free kick, a holding free kick as well, which again they're both holding. Yeah, the AFL came out and admitted that it was a wrong call. But having said that too, in the end, bad kicking is bad football, but you just got to take the opportunities. Mac Andrews, I thought he had a great game with 18 disposals. Unfortunately, gave away a free kick, which wasn't there, but it was really good to see on how they responded. But yeah, look, question mark on the Suns for next week. I think they've got the bye next week as well, so they don't have to worry about playing, which is good. And then they've got us. And who they got after round 14? For round 15, they do have Fremantle in Perth, which again will be tough. So again, looking really good. Great to see that the Saints actually win a tight game. Yes, it was defensive, but Damien Hardwick, you got to be better than that. You got to make it a lot more attacking as well. Now, the Swans won by 30 points, 16-16, 112 to 12-10, 82. But you wouldn't know. You probably would have thought, oh yes, Sydney blew the Cats out of the water and Geelong fell back, but that wasn't the case as well. Now, remember these two guys, 35 points in front. Geelong were in front by, and they chugged this game. To only lose by 30 points is a 65 point turnaround. But the one thing I will say with the Swans as well is that they played really good football. after halftime. They kicked 5 goals 3 in the second quarter, and they really stuck at it. Since after quarter time, it was all the Swans, and they absolutely dominated. Again, one thing that you can say is they kicked 7 goals 3 compared to 4 goals 4. Geelong are such a worrying signs for me is that they aren't as good. Yeah, they've started off well, but they've fallen out of the hat really poorly. But again, it is what it is as well. So they get the bye. They got Carlton. The Swans, they continue on their winning streak winning ways as well. They've got the Crows, which you think they probably might win as well. Essendon went down by 26 points against the Blues in the King's Birthday Eve game. Now, one thing I will say is that bad kicking is bad football. There were a jumper clash. Look, I think Essendon and Carlton should be playing each other twice. I really do. One thing that pisses me off the most is that both of these teams were a clash jumper against the Saints. They were against the Dockers. They also were against the Crows as well. Why not against each other? Why not against Collingwood? Even Carlton should wear one against Collingwood and Richmond because it's a darker Guernsey. You know, it doesn't matter with North Melbourne because you can still wear your home Guernsey, and the same thing with Essendon. You can still wear your home Guernsey with black shorts. But to me, you know that there are going to be a clash with each other, and I hate that. So that's probably a bit of disappointing thing out of it. But 15-6, 96 to 9-16, 70 now. Bad kicking is bad football. They dominated after halftime. Essendon, especially in that third quarter. Yeah, they kicked 5 goals 2 in the last quarter, but they kicked 3 goals 3. But you can't afford to kick 3 goals 6 in the third quarter. You've got to kick a lot more accurately to stay in the game. They certainly weren't. Credit to the Blues. They deserved this win as well by 26 points. I thought they stood up really well. Essendon dominated the disposals, but unfortunately they had a lot more handballs and 60 inside 50s. They certainly did dominate. But again, the difference was 74% disposal efficiency to 69%. But 45% efficiency inside 50, so that's from 27 shots from 60 inside 50, so 45%. Comparing that to Carlton, they had 61% from 25 shots from 41 inside 50s as well. They dominated the hitouts, they lost the clearances and the centre clearances and the stoppage clearances, but they dominate uncontested possessions. They had less turnovers as well and still couldn't put Carlton away. And again, 99 marks to 84, 14 to 10 marks inside 50, 8 to 7 contested marks as well. 5 rushes behind compared to 1 touch, compared to 1 rush behind as well. Dominating the tackles in the 450 as well, but they just weren't good enough. They need to be a bit more daring. They were kicking straight to Carlton players, particularly in defence. Bad kicking is bad football as well. You take away that 5 rush behind, it's 9-11, but had they kicked a lot more accurately as well, they probably would have been a lot further. So again, Carlton's defence did lack for me, becoming a concern because if your team gets kicks accurately, they would have won. But it was a good win by Carlton. Got the bye, got Geelong. It's a big game. It's gonna be a tough game as well. It's not easy, that's for sure. So you think after Geelong would want to respond now, after being a bad form patch, but credit to the Blues for winning. But the Bombers need to kick a lot more accurately as well. Collingwood won by 38 points in the King's Birthday game. Now 14-5, 89 to 6-15, 51. Now one thing I will say, when Cosy Pickett probably would have kicked that goal, it was touched by Charlie Dean. So I'm so glad that we were able to at least review that. But to be fair, that was a 4-quarter performance. It really was. unbelievable in the way that we played. 3 goals won compared to 4 behind. So we kicked like 4 goals too as well. And then 4 goals straight. And then obviously 3 goals too. They kicked 2 goals for 4 in their last quarter. But we were just superb. Josh Jacobs had 34 disposals. Yeah, Jacob Warren kicked 3 for the Ds. But I thought that we were superb as well. 25 disposals for Gawn, 45 hit-outs. But it wasn't all on Darcy Cameron as well. He did have Nathan Krug in there and Billy Frampton as well. Will Hoskinelli, I thought he was sensational. He's 8 marks. He had 13 disposals, 2 goals, 1. I thought he was a star. Kruger had 3 goals as well. He played a really sensational game as well. He had no hit-outs. But he was, crushing packs and doing what he needed to do as well. So he stood up, in particularly. Darcy Cameron kicked a great goal as well, 22 disposals, 9 marks. That drop punt that he kicked far out, that was superb. Finn McRae had 16 disposals, 1 goal, 1 as well. Nick Dacus kicked a goal from his 15 disposals. He was down. But, it was all good because, midfield stood up really well. Harrison Petty didn't have a great game in particular. Billy Frampton had 4 disposals and kicked a goal. And to be fair, Bartel came on in that last quarter, so you can't really say too much out of that. Lockie Schultz kicked a goal as well. I do think, for sure, Jeremy Howe's Specky, 24 disposals, 8 marks. Noble had 24 disposals as well. He played really well. Maynard had 21. He stood up. Lipinski kicked a great goal from 24 disposals. But one thing that was good that he did cop a fair bit today, and he copped the bruise from the Melbourne supporters. But one thing that we did do so well is that we clapped him on, we cheered him on, and that really got the job done. It was a great win. I'm so glad that we really put the foot on accelerator and we did not stop it at all. Yeah, we were 46 points in front, but we won by 38, so it didn't have too much damage. Yeah, there was 2 rush behinds and 1 was touched. We had 1 rush behind as well, but we really did kick a lot more accurately in front of goal. We dominated the tackles in the 450, but we took 140 marks. Yes, they took 106, 13 to 12 marks inside 15, contested marks 14 to 10. But I really did thought the way that we played, we definitely deserved the win. We dominated the uncontested by 1. They dominated the hit-outs a little bit, and that's because of Darcy Cameron, because Billy Frampton was in the ruck. But we dominated the clearances, stoppage clearances, and also center clearances as well, and I'm so glad we won. But the difference were, yes, our efficiency inside 50 probably wasn't as great, but it's because we're kicking the ball to Gawn, and sometimes we just needed to be better in that aspect of the game. I did say in my preview that we probably should target May and also Gawn as well, make it a little bit difficult, but I'm so glad that we absolutely played our best brand of footy, stuck by it as well, and got the job done as well. Hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to drop a like and as well as dropping the sub. But until next time, go the Mighty Pies. I'll do the review as well. I'll get that out the way. And then hopefully I'll get the VFL Matchday vlog out as well. Until then, bye for now.